This is James Chattery. On this episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast is one you cannot miss. If you're in the real estate industry and you're thinking about what brokerage is right for you, you got to watch this episode because we drop some gems on what to look for. If you're looking to grow your social media, this is the episode for you. If you're looking to learn more about real estate investing, this is the episode for you.
Hey, make sure you check us out at the realestateandchillpodcast.com. Buy your real estate merch now. Real estate merch with swag, a brand for hustlers only. Let's go!
Welcome back to the newest episode of Real Estate and Chill podcast. I'm your host, James Chattery, here for all your residential financial needs and commercial needs and hard money needs. And every need.
All of your needs.
All of your needs.
Hey, yo. I'm Kevin Iglesias, Associate Real Estate Broker. Today in the building, again, it's always $1 million episode. Who do we have today?
So today we have my good friend, the man who brands himself so well to the point where every time I call him, I'm literally just like calling him by his Instagram name. You know him. You love him. Everything is content. The man behind the mission. Your agent, Kyle Chang.
Woo! Woo! Let's go!
Thank you so much, James. Yes, this is your agent Kyle Chang.
How are you doing,
fellas? I'm fantastic.
We
Thank
love
you
it.
very much.
Tell us a little bit about you. Give us, for whoever doesn't know you. Tell them a little about you.
Absolutely. So if you don't know me, yes, I am your agent Kyle Chang. I am a licensed real estate salesperson here in Long Island and Queens with Real Broker New York. I am a native New Yorker for the almost 36 years of my entirety life. And if there's anything you need to know about Long Island, anything you need to know about vinyl records, anything you need to know about real estate, I'm your man.
So you said something. You said real brokerage. Shit got real.
Shit got real. Well, things get real sometimes. So yeah, Real Broker New York, cloud-based brokerage. I don't know exactly how long they've been in existence. I've only been there for about a week. Has been a completely different experience from the 5 years that I was with a more traditional brokerage. I've only been in the business 8, but it's been really fun kind of just exploring that and being able to kind of start thinking of more out of the box kind of marketing ideas that I have and just a more like collaborative work environment for myself.
Honestly, I feel like it always depends like as the person, because I feel like, you know, as somebody who works with a lot of real estate agents from a lot of different places, everyone really has their own fits. So it's like it really depends on the person, the individual, to find out what brokerage fits them best and what bank fits them best. You know what I mean?
Not for nothing, I'm going to say this on camera because we had this conversation off camera. No shots at whatsoever. They've been in the business for
50 years.
50 years.
It's the 50th anniversary.
50 years. When you've been in the business for 50 years, like the saying goes, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Oh, sure.
Kevin's about to get canceled.
It's always harder for businesses who've been in the game for so long to really transition. And when you made the move, I told you, I was like, bro, that was a smart move. I was like, it fits you so well.
Thank you.
For anybody watching this who may know the company Kevin's speaking about, please still accept his offers if you're on the listing end, because I'm usually most likely.
Yeah, we're going to bleep that out. Let's bleep that out. We're going to bleep the name out.
Let that affect anything, please.
I'm just saying it's more up to date. There's nothing wrong with that, all right?
Kevin is always a professional. He'll always present his offers the correct way, and I will always be willing to accept them, whether I was at or whether I'm at Real. But with that in mind, yeah, absolutely. I kind of originally thought that when my first broker that I was with decided to franchise into. I literally went into the city and had a meeting with the HR guy from my very first brokerage, just because he was the guy that gave me my very first opportunity. Shout out to Neil Fuchs. He was the guy who gave me my first opportunity in real estate.
Shout out to you.
And I just sat down with him and I was like, hey, what do you think about? And there's a guy who's significantly older than me. He goes, they're pretty old company. But it was definitely a nice surprise to kind of see that they are kind of up with certain things, you know, some of the times. But a lot of it is still kind of reliant on their own branding. There's still not much of a kind of individual idea that your own individual brand or your individual presence has to be a little bit bigger than the actual brand. They want you to really kind of drive home that we're the number one choice in real estate. And again, it's not a knock on them whatsoever, because by being a juggernaut in the business for the last 50 years, that's their own thing, right? I can never even imagine doing anything for 50 years.
It's all. I mean, it comes down to branding, right? It's all about branding. When have you ever seen Louis Vuitton go on sale? You know what I mean? There's certain models that certain brands.
Never.
There's certain models that certain brands just don't. You know, they don't break out of.
Well, that's that 5-finger discount for Louis Vuitton. I'll just let you know about that.
Hey, yo.
I want to pitch in on this and say that, you know, one analogy I've made before about being at a brokerage is, you know, it's funny you say that too, because I said any brokerage or any company that you're at is kind of like a belt. There's multiple different types of belts, but the job of a belt is to do what a belt does, right? It's just dependent on what company like you're at, what design it has on it.
What do you think a belt does?
Yeah,
James?
right? Like, what's the purpose of a belt?
To hold up your pants. Hello, what do you mean?
Support you, yes, absolutely.
That's my analogy for the day. You only get one episode, but
Not when I was growing up. That's not what a belt is.
Right, exactly. He's too young for that, though. See? I used to get hit with the belt, so I don't know what kind of analogy is that, but that analogy hurts, okay?
damn, sorry.
Doesn't resonate well with me.
I guess you could look at it from different ways, but
All right, we're going to hit you with the hard-hitting question. I know you've only been there for a week, right? But, all right.
I'm just messing with you, James. Loosen up, buddy.
Everybody, loosen the belt up, pause. Everybody thinks.
yo, what is going on here?
Everybody thinks, right? And I have friends at Real, right? But everybody thinks that Reels is just another version of EXP.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of think that.
They're right. Get out. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna lie, like when I hear cloud-based real estate, my mind automatically goes to EXP because
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, I
They're
know
the
so many
first
people at
ones to
EXP,
basically
yeah.
do it.
They're the first ones, I think, to really successfully brand themselves as that, right? Because, I mean, people of the internet, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure there are plenty other kind of cloud-based things. And I mean, most other even traditional brokerages might even have their own clouds within it or their own marketing centers, right? You can even call that somewhat cloud-based, you know, because you and I don't have access to the Douglas Elements marketing website or anything like that, right? So you can think of it that way. Now, the difference between, you know, I feel personally the difference between what EXP is and what Real is nothing. It's the same difference between what Realty Connect is and to Real is. You know, we decide to hang our hats wherever we want because we're independent contractors. I am at Real because of the culture and of the people that I spoke to. It took Aaron and Rebecca probably about 2, maybe 3 years to even try to loop me into the project. And they never once reached out to me about it. I always reached out to them. So that's just an amazing testament to the kind of work and the output that they put out there. That
Shout out to them.
everything that you see on Instagram is what you get in person. As simple as that. So
I'm good friends with Aaron too. He's a really cool guy.
you know, and so like, and another thing too, like, you know, I'm really good friends with Joe Sonona. I'm really good friends with Vincent Koo. These are
Shout out to Joe Sonona.
I'm gonna name drop a lot. One, because I am petty, and also because
Yo, just so you know, it's uncut. What you say is out.
Yeah, we don't edit this.
It's gonna make it sound like, oh my god, Kyle knows so many people. Like, but no, but like, it's important because I value my relationships, and I want to let people know that, you know, I don't use their name in vain. I very rarely, talk smack about people. Whenever I'm talking about you, it's because I recognize there was a value there. So, like, you know, I've had conversations with them about joining EXP. But there was always just something about it that I never really personally loved. And I'm sure they're all going to come back with, oh, no, it's not like that. It's not like that. But, the recruitment aspect of EXP was something that I never really enjoyed because, one, if I'm not loving a place where I'm at, you know, whether or not I'm making money, et cetera, if I'm not loving it where I'm at, how am I going to tell another person to come in there and be successful? How is it? And then they're on my quote unquote downline. Now it's really my responsibility to make sure that they're successful. So then in that sense, then I personally can't deal with that idea. You know, I don't want to add 5 people to whatever downline unless I know that I can do something to make all 5 of them more successful than me. Plain
Yeah,
simple.
I mean that makes a lot of sense. And shout out to Ricky Caruth because we had him. You know, we hit him with that hard hitting question on the
Shout out
spot.
to- he always supports
Well,
us.
you
too.
did.
Remax to EXP.
You did. You basically asked him. You know, flat out, is EXP a pyramid scheme? And he nailed it. You know,
Yeah.
he nailed it. He
And
gave a
shout out to you for
response.
always. Ricky always supports us and
100%.
appreciate you on that. But that episode gave me a lot of clarity as to what EXP really was aiming to do. And obviously, like, now that I know, I mean, Kyle, I've known you for how long now? I don't even know. But, like, you know, been learning more about Real too. So it's always cool seeing from an outside in.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. I mean, I've never joined EXP, but I've been in the virtual world in the cloud.
Sure.
I must say it was pretty dope taking a look into, you know, the model and seeing how everything is done.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So, like, I mean, models are great and everything, but I think when it comes to your place of work, it comes down to culture and support. Those are the two things that are the most important thing to me. I come from a theater background, so if I have a room of people that are one kind of in line to a singular goal, which is just the success of everything. So like if you think of it as a Broadway show or you think of it as a movie, right? The end goal is to finish the movie, finish the play, make sure that it's a success, make sure that the audience really enjoys it. And for us, the audiences are our customers, our clients, right? So we make sure that everybody can have as much success as possible. So if I'm in a room and I throw out an idea and I get 6 or 7 different answers on how that idea can be made into something, I'm, you know, like a pig and I'm the happiest kid in the world.
Hey, make sure you check us out at the realestateandchillpodcast.com. Buy your real estate merch now. Real estate merch with swag, a brand for hustlers only. Let's go!
Let me ask you something. You said your two most important things were culture and support, right?
Yes.
Where does leadership come into play, and where you think how important is leadership to you?
Or is leadership to me?
That's a good question.
I think to me is that leadership should be something that can be passed from person to person. Yes, there should be a kind of, if there is like a one person in an office, right, who can maybe start the ball rolling, but they understand that maybe that they're not the right person to talk about something like that, they can very easily put their ego to the side, move it to the next person. So that's that collaboration part that I'm really talking about, right? So if I feel like, because there are definitely things that I know that maybe a principal broker, et cetera, might not know about something like that, right? So I make sure that I'm in a place where I, one, feel comfortable enough to raise my voice about that, or two, that people can approach me about that. So that's what I really think about in terms of leadership as itself.
What do you think, Kevin?
I mean, I agree. I mean, leadership is huge, you know. Culture is huge. Support is huge. You know, I feel like that's the reason why people join teams. You know, they're looking for leadership. They're looking for culture. They're looking for support, and they're looking for value. You know, one thing I want to ask you, because it's big on what you are and what you do, is content.
Big and huge words.
Everything is content.
Everything
Crazy
is
event, by the way.
content.
How big is
Yeah.
content?
Amazing event.
Because content, I mean, it changed the game for us. It's changed the game, not just on the podcast, but like in our business life. Like, we don't have to really introduce ourselves. People just know who we are.
Absolutely.
Which is a pretty cool feeling. He was signing autographs the other day.
Yeah.
Nice.
At the
Yo, let me
NYC Expo.
I'll pay you $5 to take
It's
one.
okay. He hired people. He was signing checks.
I saw TMZ there, but they ain't see me.
Didn't see you.
But yeah, explain to us, you know, what's the importance of content? Because some people don't realize the power that social media and content has.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I don't know if this is the right answer, or if this is the answer you may be looking for, but content is whatever you want it to be. And what I mean by that is the agent that's been doing this for maybe 30 to 40 years, who might not be doing it for very long, creating content for Instagram right now might not be very beneficial to them. To the person that's been doing this for 2 years, doesn't really know exactly where to look for their next customer, maybe isn't getting a lot from a team leader or from their brokerage, content is everything to that person, because this business, it's not about working with the best agent. It's not about working with the person that has the most sales. It's about working with the people that you like and trust. So once I kind of figured that part out, and that I could really kind of let my personality shine through a little bit more through things like short form video, through video, text messages, anything of that nature, I just kind of let go of any kind of constraints, and it's been really beneficial for me, right? I love doing it, and I love putting myself out there for people to see exactly what they're going to get when they work with me. So that has been really crucial to my business. And I think that's my advice to anybody that is kind of struggling with this idea. You know, I hate it when agents come up to me and they go, oh, yeah, I know I have to do this. It's not about have to. It's about want to. You know?
It's a brand. You're a brand.
Yeah.
A lot of real estate agents don't carry themselves as a brand.
Yeah.
And don't look at themselves as a brand. And that ultimately hurts you in the end.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we've gotten really good offers just from our content and just putting our brand out there.
Right.
So branding is everything.
Branding is everything.
I look at social media content or any content in general like this. I look at it as like your phone, right? That's a TV. What you put out there is going to dictate what people want to see.
Yeah.
So you control what your audience wants to see, and either they're engaging, they're interacting, or they're just going to another channel, somebody else's channel.
Exactly.
But if you put out good content out there, they're going to stay on with you. They're going to check out everything that you do. And they're going to, like you said, they're going to want to work with you for who you are.
That's right.
And people can always tell when you're putting on an act or being fake.
Absolutely. Everything that I put out onto Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I call that my little baby commercial. Every single one is a baby commercial about me, about my services, whatever it is, or it's about information, etc., that I know people need to know about.
I honestly think that you using your social media to get in front of people is kind of like a CRM, because you have the people, you know your audience, and it's really just like a CRM. You just post something and you reach all these people, which is great. And on top of that, shameless plug, on June 22nd, we will see you at the Social Network and the A-List Mixer Part 2. Kyle will be there, and we'll see you there. Just
Yeah, get your tickets ASAP.
That was a smooth segue. I like that.
Of course. One more question for you in terms of social media. So, when did you know that social media was like something that you had to spend a lot of time on? Like, what drove you to that point? At what point did you realize, like, hey, this social media thing, I need to jump on this and, like, I need to capitalize on this?
Sure, absolutely. So I think my story in that sense is pretty similar to a lot of people's. The pandemic kind of taught me that Instagram specifically was no longer a fun little tool to kind of let people know about my sales or anything like that, but it was a powerful way to let people into your life. And once you let people into your life, yes, it's vulnerable, it's scary. People are going to hate it. People are going to love it. But what I kind of decided to do at the very beginning of the pandemic was invest heavily into it, start creating content in an idea of, all right, first I started with, all right, what do I kind of want to see out of this industry? And once I got as much of that out of it as I could, I then was able to get responses from people. So now I kind of knew what they wanted. And then once I really figured out what my audience was, now I know exactly what to kind of put out for the people that, one, already know and like me, and then I use the little tools and things like that to kind of reach the people that are my non-followers already. So, yeah. Something like that.
For you, like, what is real estate like? Because I feel like people get into real estate for a couple of things, right? They get into for investing purposes, or they get in for, other reasons. Like, what's your real estate goal? Like, what are you looking to basically do?
Sure. So in terms of my real estate goals, I would love to build more generational wealth for myself and for others. I think that it is really, really bizarre that people don't realize how valuable homes are, and that just means to not only to kind of live in and have as your own, but to also grow something that can create wealth for you, that can create income for you, right? Now, listen, not everybody wants or maybe even needs to be a landlord, right? But there are other routes. There's management companies that you can hire once you get to that kind of position, short-term rentals, Airbnbs, anything like that, flipping houses if you want, these little, it's one of those things where real estate is the biggest store in the world and everybody can have their own store. And like there's endless opportunities and different ways for you to make money off of it. So just go ahead and try.
So are you comfortable with me saying something about your real estate side, like outside of your real estate sales?
Yeah, go for it.
So you're a real estate investor also.
Yes.
So how did you get into the real estate how did you segue into the investing space?
Sure, absolutely. So I segued into the investing space sort of by accident. My father kind of taught me at a young age. So from the age of 11 till I was about 18, we moved 3 or 4 different times. So my dad, sold my childhood home for a profit, obviously. We moved somewhere for 2 years. And then suddenly we had to move again after fixing up that house. And then another 3 years after we fixed that house, we had to move again until my mom was like, we're not moving anymore. But it only took those 3 times for my father to build enough wealth for him to start buying rentals. And that's, a light bulb kind of went off of me in that sense. I had no idea he was a real estate investor at that time.
I feel like people are nonchalantly real estate investors also. Like people work their full-time jobs. They have huge real estate portfolios. Like I see it all the time. Like they have their W-2 job and they just own real estate on the side too. And they just cash flow on that, have that pay for their expenses. Back to the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, right?
I mean, that's what I mean. I love real estate in that sense, is that you don't have to be in love with it to do it, right? You can have a 9-to-5 job or you can have another career. But if you look at real estate as an investment, so that's why actually when I sit down with sellers, I go, how would you like me to help with your investment today? I don't tell them with their home. I let them know this is an investment. If you don't have to sell this, don't sell it. I'll find a way for you to rent it. And this way you can keep building wealth off of it. Plain and simple.
Yeah. What about the market right now in Queens compared to Long Island? So, I know both you guys are obviously big into those 2 areas.
Kevin and I are actually selling apartments in the same building.
Which one, the high school?
So I didn't want to bring that up, but I'm glad you brought. All right, so here's a situation, right?
It's hilarious.
We have a co-op that we're selling in Queens, Elmhurst. We got the buyers in. The buyers said that they have something to sell that they might have to sell. So Chris on my team is doing the deal with me. I said, Chris, give me the number. I'll call the guy and I'll pitch myself. But here's the funny part, because you know me, I'm a very aggressive negotiator. Before my day got caught up so much that I didn't get the chance to call him. His name was Mike, right? Mm-hmm. His name was Mike, so I didn't call him that day just because I was so backed up on other things. I let it
keep
push
my client's
back.
Name out your mouth.
So I didn't call him. The next day, I get a call. I look at my phone. It's Kyle. I'm like, all right, what's up, Kyle? What's going on? We put the pieces together that he's now going to be selling the co-op for the buyer who's buying my listing. So I was like, yo. Yeah. And I didn't tell you this then. I was like, I was going to call him and be super aggressive. Be like, yo, this is why you need to work with me. I don't know who this other guy or lady is. I don't really care.
Joker is.
Don't really care, but it's crazy how everything happens for a reason. And you know what? Look, I'm more than happy for you. Look, there's so much business to go out there. Absolutely. But now I know, it's always harder to do a deal with an agent.
I thought it was awesome.
I always think it's harder to deal with an agent who's not communicating, but I know you're a great communicator. And you're on top of everything, so I'm like, all right, this is going to be easy.
Wait.
As a great communicator, I've been following up with these people for 4 years.
Wait, hold on. This is all about to go full circle to me. Who is the person I think buying that co-op? The
person you think buying that co-op?
Are they? Do they have a loan amount of were they supposed to have a loan amount, but now they don't?
I don't know if I can actually talk about that publicly.
Yeah, we don't talk about clients,
I think
files in public.
It's funny.
This guy, yo, he's talking about getting canceled earlier, right?
Trying to ask me about somebody's mortgage.
Yo, the funny thing is,
happening right now?
I had a pre-approved client with you, and then that client that's selling that house, I
not
pre-approved.
that.
It's not that one?
Not that,
Okay,
not
never
that.
mind then.
Come on, man.
That'd be
We're
like,
not
all right.
supposed to be.
Not that, man.
It's sad though. The client
What are
that
you doing,
we had, I had a
James?
client with Kyle, and they were supposed to get a loan, but now they're gonna buy the house cash. So James is out of the picture, but it's okay.
Well, with the rates now they're at, I mean, who wouldn't want to buy cash?
Right? That's true.
Cash.
With one loan a day, you can support a loan officer. No, but honestly, I'm gonna say one thing on that too. Rates are going
Cue
up
the
right now,
Shania
right?
Twain.
Rates are going up right now, right? My pipeline has never been bigger. And like I say that humbly because the thing is, as the market's getting harder, I'm just eating up more market share. That's just what I'm doing.
I'm just flexing.
I'm not trying. I'm just saying because like a lot of people saying the market is tough, the market is this, that, whatever. But like, I'm not the only person that will say that. Like,
All right, give us your your
I'll
final
put it on
thoughts.
James real quick though, because on my way here, I did a little bit of research. I listened to the episode with Dimitri, and I want to kind of use a blowhorn on everything that he said about both of you, really. But James, right now, you are really that guy. You are that guy that works harder for the clients than a lot of even the other loan officers that I have good relationships with. I still love you guys. Don't worry.
Bing bong.
I appreciate you.
But like, yeah, James, like the fact that you've been doing this as long as you have, right, like pretty much since the age of 18, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, even though you are still considered young, you are a veteran in this game. And I hope nobody ever
Young
uses
vet.
that against you.
No, I appreciate that, Kyle. You're the man, and I appreciate your trust always.
And all right, I'm gonna add on to that. Let's stroke the ego a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
when I was this guy was cold calling me for like I don't even know how long.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I gotta meet him. He's so obnoxious. He's so annoying. But he was so like
You mean he's more obnoxious and annoying than you?
yes. And his follow game was so strong. And I was like, you know what? I respect it. I gotta meet with him.
Yeah.
And I met with him, and everybody's always asked me like, why'd you start? Well, not everybody, but some people have asked me like, why did you start it with him? He's new. I was like, bro, when you see potential in somebody and you see the hunger in them, you have to support them.
Yeah.
And I look at how far he's come.
I
So
appreciate
that's just
that,
a
guys.
testament.
I appreciate the both of you.
Cool.
Appreciate the both of you guys.
Can you
Means a
pay us
lot.
for saying these things now?
Yeah, I'll pay
All
you
right.
guys. Check after the episode.
All right, cool.
Nah, but I appreciate
You didn't get paid
guys.
up front? See? That's your
So, Kyle, what's next for you? What's next for your agent, Kyle Chang? What do you see yourself doing in the next 12 months?
The next 12 months. My goodness.
New brokerage.
New brokerage,
You're
right?
looking to do more real estate, looking to do more investments.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, so I went from, to here where I was in a position where I was the director of marketing for a little bit for that office. So I'm going to put all of that to the side and basically use everything that I was doing, refocus it on me. I'm going to kind of dive head into sales again because I feel like I'm a person that is not very often willing to go that far out of their comfort zone. So I know that I can expand a lot more on that. So that's why I wanted to be in a place like Real.
I love it. I feel like those are like 3 very strong goals.
Yeah.
Like for the next like 12 months. And I feel like I resonate with that too. Like I feel like we align in that. Yeah. So
Where can people find you, Kyle?
People can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok at Agent Kyle Chang. And as always, if you need to know the state of your real estate, you simply call your agent, Agent Kyle Chang.
we love it. All right. That was the latest episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast. We will see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate and Chill podcast with James Chaudhry and Kevin Iglesias. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends, your enemies, your mother-in-law. No, seriously, this podcast is so fucking good, you might want to tell your ex. See you next time.